Denise, Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, Denise, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hey there, everyone. Happy Friday. It is November 11th. You are here watching Speak Now Pro Wrestling with your girl, Denise Salcedo. And man, what a night we had today. There's a lot to talk about in regards to both SmackDown, mainly SmackDown, I would say we have the most to talk about. A couple of items on Rampage. We will go through all of that and more here today. I gotta tell you though, this time change that we've had is like sucking the life out of me. I feel a lot more tired today. It's like barely 8 o'clock for me here in the West Coast, but obviously it's getting darker earlier and it's getting to me, man. But either way, we got a show to get into here today. Before we get into everything, friendly reminder, if you guys are here, take part in the chat, send in your comments, let me know what you guys thought of the show. Fridays is my most chill show of the week. You never know what's gonna happen on Friday. So as you guys make your way in here, make sure to take part in the chat. Additionally, if you would like to support this podcast, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat at any point throughout the show, and I will make sure to pull them up and to read them here. And we're actually going to get started with our first super chat of the night, and this is from Steven. Thank you so much, as always, showing a lot of support here, who says, "Let's rock. Hashtag Taylor Swift concert fund." Hell yeah, man. That concert fund, I'm working towards it, man. She announced additional 17 more dates. She's going to be doing 5 nights at SoFi Stadium. Clearly, I can't go to all 5 nights, but I'm at least going to try to go to a couple of them. Watch me show up to all 5 nights, though. We got a super chat here from Grapple Geekery, who's still on vacation and still tuning into the show. Man, I am jealous of you being on vacation. So jealous of you. I would love a vacation right now. Really, I would. But thank you so much to Grapple Geekery. Let's get into the show, everybody. I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed SmackDown today. 2 hours legitimately felt like a good hour, 20 minutes today. The show absolutely flew by. And on top of that, I was 2 minutes late to Rampage today because after the Roman Reigns, Bloodline, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Butch, Ridge Holland, you name it, all these people, after that basically closed out the show. For some reason, I still didn't feel like I was there for 2 hours. So I was still waiting. I was still on Fox Sports. I was thinking we were on commercial break and we were going to come back and finish the rest of SmackDown. And then I looked at the clock and I'm like, girl, this show is over. Change the channel. So that is how fast SmackDown flew by for me today. I thought SmackDown for today was definitely the show. I struggled a little bit with Rampage. In fact, I'm going to have some criticisms on Rampage today because I feel a little let down. And I think you guys, if you know me and you know what I like and you know what I was looking forward to, I think you'll know what I'm talking about before I even get to it. But we'll talk about that once we get there. Let's kick it off with the opening match of the night. And this was a pretty big deal of a match because it was the Usos versus the New Day, and not just the Usos, like the Usos versus the New Day is already going to be a big deal because, we've seen them so much. We've seen them work together so much, right? And we know the kind of matches that they have. But this was more than that because not only did they have the titles on the line, but they also had, obviously, not just the titles, but if the Usos won tonight, they would be soon to break the record of the New Day, which currently not currently, but prior to tonight, they were the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions. And after tonight, they are no longer the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions. In fact, it is the Usos because they did get the win here tonight. But this was a lot of fun, guys. Like they probably took up about 35 minutes of SmackDown was just this match. And I got to tell you, I thought that it was a fun match, a great opener. In terms of like some of the other matches they've had, I remember loving some of the other ones like a lot more in terms of like in-ring wise. I remember some of the other ones I think being a little bit better. But either way, I think what I really want to shout out for this match was honestly Michael Cole. I want to give him like a shout out because he kind of just really took the ball and made the match like even more like he did his job as a commentator to make things a little bit more exciting, even though the match was already exciting. And I don't want to take away from the Usos or the New Day whatsoever because they did their part. But I do want to give credit to Cole because he did such a great job of running down the history between the Usos and the New Day, just like really getting us excited whenever they did all of those near fall attempts towards the end of the match, because we obviously did have a couple of those, and they just did like he did a really good job of that. Like Wade Barrett was fine too. I thought he did a decent job, but I think Cole just really stood out to me during all of this. But I love this match, especially when they did all of the near falls, because I had a feeling that they were going to go with the Usos, but when you built this up so importantly, where you have somebody's record on the line, you never know. Like they could have gone with the New Day just for them to keep that record. But I think for the most part, a lot of us, I would say maybe like 70-30, we thought that the Usos were going to win regardless, just because, everything that they're doing. And there's a good chance that, this is going to lead to, I don't know, Sami Zayn and maybe Kevin Owens being tag team champions down the line. Who the hell knows, right? But this was a good match. This was a lot of fun. And congratulations to the freaking Usos, guys, because they are now going to be the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE for WWE tag team titles. So that's really freaking cool. Honestly, good win. They hit the 1D on Kingston, and that is how they got the win here. This was a lot of fun, but we need to talk about, and from this, I'm going to go on to the closing of the show, because after this match, we had the Usos go backstage, and Roman Reigns is obviously very happy for them. He's proud of them, and he tells them, like, this is what it feels like to be the greatest of all time. And then he says it's time for him to do something, and he wants them at his side. So fast forward to the ending of SmackDown, we get the Bloodline. They go out, and Roman Reigns, I guess, is supposed to be making this announcement, but he ends up getting interrupted by Ridge and Butch, and they come out and they're basically saying that they're tired of the Bloodline always having the numbers advantage. So they bring out Sheamus. Sheamus was obviously gone for like a week or two, or I think it's just like a week. Because he was getting married, so he was gone. So he came back. So great reaction for Sheamus. But it was really funny because Sheamus's microphone, it didn't work. And so he couldn't get his lines across because the microphone kept going in and out. And then Roman Reigns being such a jerk. Oh, I love this part. He just started like mocking Sheamus and telling him like, you can't even get the microphone to work. What are you even gonna do? And while he did this, he was like pointing and laughing at him. So this was really funny, actually. But this all led to them bringing out Drew McIntyre and all the guys brawling at the end. So I'm excited because I want to see Sheamus, Roman Reigns. I feel like that's definitely something that I want to see, and I hope that they do, especially right now with Sheamus literally being at the top of his game. So I'm looking forward to that. And obviously with the incorporation of Drew McIntyre. And I mean, Drew Karrion Kross has been like, I'm so over and done with that. And I know that's not like, it's not the end of Karrion Kross, Drew McIntyre, but at least it felt a little bit exciting to see Drew McIntyre involved with different people here today. So either way, I thought that the way that they played this all out, going from the intro with the Usos and the New Day and the opening match to the way that they closed it out was perfectly fine. So there you go. That was the Roman Reigns, Bloodline, Usos, New Day, Sheamus, all of these people part of SmackDown. So overall, good stuff there. Let's see what people are saying about this match here. We got a lot of people putting over this match saying that it was excellent, and I completely agree. Sam Fine says Cole has been great with the handcuffs off. He legitimately has, and this has been something that people have been saying since like the second Vince was gone. You got to see a little bit more of who Michael Cole can be on commentary. And it's so crazy. And we'll talk about this more in a different match, because there's another match that occurred where we got a little bit more of Michael Cole just like really adding to the wrestlers in terms of things that they've done outside of WWE, and that really just lends so much more credibility to these guys. And we'll talk about that in just a second because I'm going to save my thoughts for that. Actually, we're talking about it now. Holy crap. All right. So we had the World Cup tournament, as this was announced last week that we were going to be getting 8 guys, and they would be getting the World Cup, their little World Cup. But on top of that, the winner of this is also going to get an Intercontinental Championship match against Gunther. So personally, I'm glad that they did this, and it isn't just, here's the trophy, go take a picture and celebrate, and we're all going to forget about it later on. I'm glad that this is also giving an opponent, a future opponent to Gunther. So I'm glad that they're doing this. Anyways, in the World Cup, we have Shinsuke Nakamura, we have Santos Escobar, Sami Zayn, Butch, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Jinder Mahal. The first match that we got today was Shinsuke Nakamura and Santos Escobar. So they are in the first round match. And this was the match that Michael Cole, I thought, did a great job in terms of just like talking about these guys and things from outside of WWE, things that they're doing. Hell, they even mentioned, they pretty much promoted the match that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be having with the Great Muta. Like, they literally promoted it on commentary, and this may not seem like a big deal, but it is kind of a big deal because this was not something that you would have seen happen, when Vince McMahon was around. So the fact that we got like even that announcement, some background on Santos and Shinsuke, like they were even talking about Santos's dad. It's little things like that that really just add to the competitors. So if you're somebody who may not know this stuff and you're tuning in and you're listening in, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that person did this, or I didn't know the person is going to do that. So anyways, I really liked this. I thought the match itself was pretty good. Like, for the most part, I would say that what really helped SmackDown like fly by today was a lot of the in-ring action that we first saw, like the first hour of the show was really good. So it just like flew by, and that really, really did help. And this was one of them as well. This was a fun match. Santos Escobar gets the win here, and I'm so glad that he did, because let's be real, Shinsuke Nakamura, he doesn't need to be winning the World Cup. Like, he really doesn't, okay? Santos Escobar just came into the main roster. He just got here, really, and you want to give him a little bit of a push, man. And I think that they're doing so. I have a strong feeling, because, okay, here's the thing. In terms of all of these guys and who I would consider most popular in terms of who's in the World Cup, it's Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the most popular right now, followed by Braun Strowman, okay? But I think Sami Zayn is just a little bit more universally popular, universally liked. Like, people don't even hate him on social media, okay? Like, that's rare. You don't find somebody that everybody can equally agree on. So Sami Zayn, I have a feeling, could win this, but I don't know. Something tells me he's not, though. I think he should win this, and he should win this because he's like the most popular guy, but something is still telling me that he's not going to win this. I don't know if there's any sort of involvement that happens, but even though I think there's a good chance, I do have a slight feeling that it won't be Sami Zayn. So I'm thinking like, okay, who else can it be? I would like to see Santos Escobar win this because I do think he would need it, and it would propel him into a good spot. And then the other one is Butch. I think Butch is another really great option to also win this one too, just because he's been doing the work, man. He's been going in there. He's been entertaining as hell. I feel like he's somebody that should also get, a crowning moment here. So those are the people that I personally would like to see. Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura is out already, and we might as well talk about the next World Cup match that we saw on SmackDown today, and it was Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal. And I don't know how many people actually thought Jinder Mahal was going to win this tournament. I'm sorry to bum you out, but it ain't going to be Jinder Mahal. In fact, Jinder Mahal got squashed today, and Braun Strowman got a very, very quick victory, gets the win very, very fast, and Braun Strowman continues on to the semifinals along with Santos Escobar, and Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke are goodbye Z's out the door. They already announced the matches that we're going to be seeing next week as well. The other first round matches are going to be Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet, and that one's going to be fun. I'm expecting a nice fast-paced match there. And then we're going to get Butch versus Sami Zayn. I think that one's going to be a lot of fun, but I expect that one to be a little bit more I don't know. I expect it to be a little bit different than what we're going to be getting from Mustafa Ali and Ricochet. So I am expecting a different kind of match for sure. But either way, I do think that they are going to be pretty damn good matches. So I'm happy that so far the World Cup tournament is going as predicted thus far. All right, let's see what people are saying here on the chat. Please, guys, do not spam the chat. Don't be a jerk. It's Friday night. Take a chill pill. Let's relax. I don't got energy for any of that. All right, let's see what people are saying about the actual match itself. This is from Aurelio, who says, I really like Butch, but at the moment, I see him more in the tag division rather than solo. I hope Santos Escobar wins. I do agree with you in that sense. But I feel like they can always just he can always level up for sure. Like just because he's part of, with Ridge Holland and everything that he's doing with Sheamus and all of that, I do still think that he can actually get a nice leg up if he were to win this tournament. So I would not be opposed to it whatsoever. Really, I would not be opposed to it. All righty. So let's go ahead and continue on from here. After this, let's get into Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. So this is kind of interesting here because what's the number one thing that we've been hearing from everybody? We've been hearing who's Bray Wyatt's first opponent going to be? When is he going to be wrestling? There's been people that are like, okay, we're kind of over a little bit of what Bray Wyatt has been doing, and I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm still good with the stuff that Bray Wyatt has been doing, but there are people that are just like, we need to get the ball rolling a little bit faster with Bray Wyatt. On top of that, you're also getting people asking, is anybody else joining Bray Wyatt? Are we going to see more people, align themselves with Bray? Where are we going with this? So LA Knight was cutting a promo, doing his thing, getting a backstage interview, and he is confronted by Bray. And Bray's like, nice to meet you. I'm Bray Wyatt. He did introduce himself, by the way, kind of like that, but not the way I did it, but kind of like that. Hi, I'm Bray Wyatt. He didn't do it like that, but so he goes on and he gives this whole spiel to LA Knight. He says, my whole life, people have been telling me my rage was going to make a monster out of me. For the longest time, I've been pretending that I'm not proud of the things I do. I don't know how true that is anymore. He then continues on and asks LA Knight, I'm asking you, how far are you willing to go? So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, is he trying to recruit LA Knight? Is he picking a fight with LA Knight? What's going on here? So LA Knight basically responds by saying, like, what the hell do you care how far I'm willing to go? And he has a really good line, probably my favorite line that I've ever heard from LA Knight. He tells Bray Wyatt, go play with your little puppets and stick them wherever it gives you pleasure. I thought that was a really good line by LA Knight. That was my favorite thing that LA Knight has done on the main roster by far. That one line is my favorite thing I've seen from LA Knight personally. Okay. Personally. So either way, it looks like we're getting Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. I don't think that he's aligning with Bray Wyatt. It doesn't seem like he's interested in that. It doesn't seem like it. So I'm assuming we're getting Bray Wyatt, LA Knight. That seems like the direction that we are headed at with all of this. Let's see what we got here. This is from Christopher, who says, LA Knight and Bray Wyatt's promos back and forth is going to be awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing too. They are so different and such different types of personas. LA Knight is the more like, boisterous, egotistical type of person, and a little bit more of that showman type of promo, versus Bray Wyatt is a little bit more wordy and dark and mysterious and all of that. So I do think it's going to be two different two different sides, man. The yin and yang and all of that. Hot and cold, you name it. We're going to get polar opposites here with LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. So I did like this, and this feels a little bit more exciting for LA Knight, and also finally gives us something in regards to Bray Wyatt. And that's the thing, like Bray Wyatt can beat LA Knight, and like no big deal, no big deal. So there you go. I think for the most part, having LA Knight be one of his first opponents sounds like a good idea to me. All right, let's go ahead and continue on from this. We got a six-pack challenge with the winner going on to face Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series War Games. We had Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville versus Shotzi versus Liv Morgan versus Xia Li versus Raquel. And this was a little rough. This wasn't necessarily the best. I thought that there were some good moments, so don't get me wrong here. The beginning of the match was a little bit clunky. There was a moment where Lacey Evans was trying to get the pin, and I forget on who it was that she was trying to get at. And it was just so slow. It was one of the slowest things I had seen. So it felt like there was a timing issue there, and it was very noticeable in the beginning of this match. And then the one thing that I didn't like was that in matches like this, you have 6 people, right? You want to see there's going to be a little bit of chaos, right? You're going to see multiple people, going at it. It's 6 people. But the one thing that I didn't like is that I felt like everybody quickly disappeared in this match, like really fast, where it was just like Liv Morgan and, one other person, and everybody else was just on the sides, like laid out for quite a bit of time. And so to me, it kind of just felt a little bit disconnected here. So I really wasn't really too into the first portion of this match. And then there was a good moment. We did have some good moments with Liv Morgan. She came out and she pulled out a couple of good spots. I like that. That was fun. But there was a moment where Raquel brought out a table. And then this led to Liv Morgan doing a jump off the barricade, and it was a little bit weird. Now, they didn't show a replay, so I only got to see this one time, and I was looking for it on social media, but I didn't see anybody post the clip, and I really wanted to rewatch it because it happened so fast, but it was very, very there seemed to be some sort of something went wrong because it just looked weird. Given that I only saw it once, it looked like Liv Morgan didn't get enough of the positioning was weird when she tried to land on Raquel, and instead they both landed really weird. No one hit the table. The table was completely out of the equation. It was just very, very messy looking. So it didn't end up working out the way that they wanted to, and they didn't show a replay. So I can't even tell you exactly what happened there. This was literally just off the one watch. And I was waiting for it. I'm like, come on, give us a replay, because I need to see what really happened here. What went wrong? I need to reanalyze this. But we didn't get that. But either way, so this kind of ended up feeling like the finish was rushed, and we ended up seeing Shotzi get the win here. And so she's going to go on to face Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. I guess this is fine because, when it comes to the women on SmackDown, it really kind of felt like it could have been anybody. I legitimately felt okay, it could be Liv again, which that probably wouldn't be the best idea because they already did them. They did them to death. So I don't think we should be seeing Liv Morgan, Ronda again anytime soon, excuse me. Raquel would have been a pretty decent option. Xia Li, they still haven't really she's kind of just been there. So I don't know if she was maybe a person that I expected to win. So not really. Sonya Deville, she could have been an option, I think. And Lacey Evans, she's kind of along the same lines of Xia Li, where she's kind of just there. So Shotzi really was an option here. But we've seen Shotzi, Ronda before, but I think it's been a hot minute since we've actually seen them. So it's fine. I think for the most part, this feels like a fresh matchup between Shotzi and Ronda. So I think this will be pretty okay. Afterwards, we did get a backstage segment where Shayna confronts Shotzi, and she is basically telling her that Ronda's going to kick her ass, and then Shotzi tries to fire back, but Ronda creeps up behind her, and they both pretty much creeps on her from behind. So I think Shotzi Ronda, I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll either be good, it'll be decent, or it could be a little, or it could be a little bit rough though. So I hope that it is actually good, because you need to have some good matches for Ronda as SmackDown Women's Champion. And then same for Shotzi. So there you go. Let's see what we got here. We got Dark Lord, who says Ronda will kill Shotzi. Is this Shayna's Twitch account? This sounds like Shayna. This is Shayna's Twitch account, because that's how she creeped up on Shotzi, and she was like, she's going to break your arm and your ankles and this and that. Kyle Ben says, since clean up on aisle green. Oh man, guys. Yeah. And I feel bad, but like Kyle Pitt says here, Shotzi, in my opinion, it's not great in the ring. She botches a lot of the moves. She probably shouldn't be trying. I'm sure about this match. And that's it's unfortunate, but I mean, we all remember how things kind of went down at Money in the Bank, and then things got really ugly after that. Like, it got really bad for Shotzi there. She was getting a lot of backlash on social media. So that was not, that wasn't, pretty. That's not something you want to deal with, right? And on top of that, like the Liv Morgan Ronda Rousey match got torn to shreds. So it's not like, it's not like they're both, it's not like either of them are recently coming off of some great spectacular matches right now. So I think they really do need to go out there and hit it out of the park, just to kind of change a little bit of that perception. But we got a super chat here from Sheldon Jackson, who says, I'm curious to see where they go with Shayna. I'm torn between Shayna being the monster and Ronda's backup. Just give me NXT Shayna. I think that they need to do Ronda Shayna right now. That really feels like the most interesting thing that they could do with Ronda, while we wait and see what her big WrestleMania match is going to be. Right now, it just feels like it should be Shayna Ronda, because it just doesn't feel like they have anybody. They don't have anybody like this right now. Like, I just ran through some of these girls, and Shotzi was legitimately the best option. The second best option, or the other option, could have been Raquel, but the options are pretty limited there. So I do hope we get to Ronda Shayna maybe a little bit faster, because if not, it'll be a slow burn till we actually get something interesting for Ronda's SmackDown Women's Championship reign. Thank you so much to Sheldon for sending in the super chat. Friendly reminder, guys, if you want to help support this podcast a little extra, I mean, you guys already tuning in, helps out a whole lot, but just in case you want to, help out a little bit more, or just get your question, comment, or statement read on this podcast, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat. All right, so let's get what else we got here. Man, we got Timothy here, who says Ronda's being wasted against this roster. Yeah, unfortunately, they just need to build up more girls. They need to continue to build them up. Right now, Liv Morgan, and we already, saw how that turned out, but she's really the only one that even has a little bit of, something a little bit going for her. None of the other girls have really gotten much to say. They haven't gotten to the point where you're like, oh yeah, man, this is the person to face Ronda Rousey. So they really do need to help that out just a little bit. But anyways, that's where we're at with all of this. All right, moving on from the women's stuff, let's get on to, actually, we got a couple more women's stuff coming up, and this is where things are going to get a little interesting. So we had Zelina, or rather, we were going to have Zelina versus B-Fab, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be something. I don't know what to expect from Zelina and B-Fab. I was ready for it though, but they found their way out of not having to do this match by hitting the music, and you just see like a red screen, and you just see smoke and all of this, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, who is that? Like, it took me a second. It wasn't until we actually saw the figure of Sarah Logan that you were like, oh, okay, this is her official return, and the Viking Raiders, because they had been teasing them for weeks now, and you didn't really know when they were actually gonna come out. So they end up, Sarah Logan makes her return. along with the Viking Raiders, and they basically beat the crap out of everybody that was there, Hit Row, Legado, all of them. So they do their whole thing. But the thing everybody is talking about, and it's trending all over on Twitter, and that is Sarah Logan's look. Let me tell you guys, she is getting torn apart on social media. It is bad. I posted the pictures of Sarah Logan in her return and whatnot, and that tweet currently at the moment, everybody, let me peep at where it's at the moment. Here we go. This tweet has it has 132 quote retweets and 165 tweets and a bunch more, like 128 comments. And I can tell you that most of them are bad. People are not really digging Sarah Logan's look. Everybody is kind of poking fun at the fact that they are calling her the Wish version of Max the Impaler, or we have Max the Impaler at home. So it is bad. It's been a while since I've seen somebody get like torn apart in terms of the look that they brought in. So I don't know if she's going to maybe switch it up next week, but based on these comments from today, I would switch it up if I were her. I would try to maybe think of something else, because I wouldn't want this to be the thing on my shoulder where everybody's saying, oh, you stole this person's look. You stole this person's look. Go in there, read the comments. If there's any positive comments, it's very few and far in between. Most of them are pretty much ripping the look apart and not really caring for Sarah Logan whatsoever. So I wouldn't say that it was a good for her. It's more bad, and it's trending on Twitter and all of that. Sam Fine says it was a complete ripoff, right down to the one green dread. Royce P says she looked pretty badass. Kyle Put says, I didn't mind the look, but I like all that crazy Viking stuff. Fernando Zaya says, I don't mind her look. People just being negative. And let's see what else we got here. The Cooch 97 says, a lot of folks bolting Twitter these past few days. Yeah, it's been hard, guys. These last, I would say, month and a half, it's been rough on Twitter in terms of like, growing. It's been hard, and I don't usually have a hard time on Twitter, and this has been like last month was my hardest month on Twitter by far in terms of trying to grow my platform. And it's mainly because people are leaving Twitter. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's my favorite app, so I'm torn. But either way, back to this. It's not looking too great for Sarah Logan right now based on the comments. Let's see. Will McLean says, I don't care for Sarah Logan and not for this look. And so there you go, guys. And for those of you who are wondering, they are comparing her to Max the Impaler, because I know Aurelio here was asking. If you go on my Twitter, just click on the quote retweets or read the comments, and trust me, you will see all of it. You will see it all there. All right. So there you go, guys. Oh yeah, BTW, just a real quick rundown for those of you who are wondering why, she just returned. She was one of the people that was released back in the 2020 mass releases. And then since then, she did make a surprise appearance at the Royal Rumble. But other than that, she did like CYN, and that was literally it. She didn't really do anything else, because she said she was going to be stepping away from wrestling and all of that. All right, so we already talked about Roman Reigns' announcements. Guys, that was SmackDown. Holy shoot, we ran through that kind of fast. Next week, like I mentioned, we got the World Cup matches, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Butch, Sami Zayn, and then we also got Shotzi versus Shayna Baszler happening on SmackDown. Cool. All right, let's move on to, actually, before we move on to AEW Rampage, everyone, we do have a message here from our sponsors. And let's give some love to NordVPN, everybody. I do have all of the links in the description box below. For those of you who haven't heard about NordVPN, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown. If you are ever frustrated that you are in a place, a city, a country, wherever it is that you're at, and you can't watch your favorite sporting event or your favorite show or whatever it is, and you can't watch it and you're feeling a little flustered, a little frustrated, because they aren't available in your country, there's nothing that you can do about that until you get NordVPN. So with NordVPN, you can literally switch your virtual location to a country that is showing whatever it is that you wanted to see or that you wanted to access on the internet. And it's easy, a great way for you not to miss out on any of the action or any of your favorite sports teams or any of that. You can literally go and over to nordvpn.com/F4W. And we have a pretty awesome deal right now. So not only do you grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/F4W to get this huge discount off of your NordVPN plan, but you also get 4 months for free. That is right, 4 months for free. And it's also totally risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. You can stream multiple streams and you won't see your internet lagging either. That's another concern that people have had. But NordVPN basically prevents your internet service provider from bandwidth throttling, so you have consistent, reliable internet connection. It's the price of a coffee cup every month, so it's a small price to pay for premium cybersecurity and access to a vast amount of entertaining content from all over the world, wherever you are in the world. So once again, grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/F4W to get a huge discount off of your NordVPN plan, plus 4 months for free, completely risk-free. And you can find the link in the description box below. And now let's get into AEW Rampage, everyone. Here we go. Let's see. All right, AEW Rampage. There were a couple of things that I liked on the show, and one thing that I did feel a little bit disappointed by, but I'll get to that. So we kicked the night off with Luchasaurus and Christian and Jungle Boy. And as you all know, Jungle Boy recently came back and ended up costing Luchasaurus his match on Dynamite, last week or so. And Christian's basically telling them, we thought we were done with you already. We were over you. We were already moving on from you. We're done with you. But Jungle Boy basically tells them, you know what? You wasted 3 years of my life that I'm never going to get back. And I love that line because it almost sounded like a breakup. You wasted 3 years of my life and you didn't even marry me. That's exactly what this reminded me of. So anyways, Jungle Boy challenges Luchasaurus to a match at Full Gear. And not just any ordinary match, but a steel cage match. So I'm kind of excited for that. Hell yeah, let's do this. I'm looking forward to it being a steel cage match. So I'm glad that they added the stipulation to it. But more so, I really just like Christian Cage telling Jungle Boy, you're just realizing that you're not that good. You're realizing that you aren't the pillar of this company. Luchasaurus is the pillar of this company. And he tells them, we want to put you down, and we want to put you down for good. So Christian Cage accepts the challenge on behalf of Luchasaurus, and then he throws shots at his mom and his dad that passed away. He tells him, make sure your mom is cozied up at ringside. And then he says, and thankfully, you have your Hollywood good looks, because just like your father, that's all you had. So good stuff. I mean, this has been a pretty lengthy feud now. It's been going on for quite a bit. So I feel like this definitely has to be the closure, the final last hoorah between Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, at least for right now. So I'm excited to see what they do at AEW Full Gear, especially given that it's a steel cage match. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a pretty good one for sure. What did you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Let's see what we got here. This is from Brandon Rosen. Thank you so much to Brandon for sending in the super chat. Brandon says, Sami Zayn isn't winning the tournament because he will be the 5th Bloodline guy in the War Games match. Who do you think the 5th babyface will be? Kevin Owens, perhaps? I mean, that would be freaking great. I do not know who the 5th babyface is going to be. If it were Kevin Owens, it'd be freaking awesome, but I legitimately just do not know for sure. Thank you so much to Brandon Rosen for sending this in regardless, man. Really, thank you so much. We got Sam Fines who sends a super chat saying concert funds. Thank you very much. Thank you for the concert funds. I will take them. Seriously, thank you so much to Sam as well. Alrighty. Let's get on to Dante Martin versus Brian Cage. This was for the AEW World Title Eliminator. So far we had only seen Ethan Page and Eddie Kingston on Dynamite on Wednesday with Ethan Page advancing. And then today we got 2 more matches, the Brian Cage, Dante Martin, and Bandito and Rush. So Dante Martin versus Brian Cage, I thought was okay. They mainly had Dante Martin. They had Dante Martin pretty much doing pretty much everything in this match in terms of he got a lot of shine in, he got a lot of offense in on this match. I thought that this was really a nice this was a pretty nice showcase for Dante Martin. Like, he was going out there right away and just had like the don't quit spirit. I have really good cardio type of vibes because damn, Dante Martin was just bouncing around all over that ring and not out of breath whatsoever. He hit a drop kick on Brian Cage, throwing him out of the ring. He hit him with a DDT. He did a springboard splash to the outside, which was pretty good. He did a splash onto Cage on the inside of the ring. He did a 630, but Cage moved out of the way, and then Cage got him with a lariats. That was really like the only moment we really got to see from Cage up until this point. Finally, Cage hit the Weapon X and got the win. And like I said, Dante looked really good in this match, but I'm not so sure that this was the match that I particularly wanted to see, in the sense that Brian Cage, like, obviously, like, look at him. The man is like, massive, right? When he hit the Weapon X and the lariat, I was like, damn, like, freaking explosive as hell. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more of that, because I wanted to see Brian Cage as a, like, force to be reckoned with in this tournament. And so I think I wanted to see him dominate Dante Martin a little bit more, but instead it ended up being the other way, with then finally Brian Cage getting the win. But I get it. They don't want, to bury Dante Martin or anything like that. But if Brian Cage is the one that's continuing in this tournament, I personally wanted to see a little bit more as to why should I be, interested in Brian Cage in this tournament. So for me, even though I thought this, like, giving Dante Martin a lot of offense was great and all, I did want to see more from Brian Cage in this match. So I would have liked to, if they did that, if they implemented that a little bit more in this. So personally, I thought this match was okay. And it wasn't the match that I was most looking forward to, because you guys all know which one that was. And I can't wait to talk about it. But before I get into that one, we do have Grapple Geekery, who sends in a super chat saying, really cool seeing Darius is returning soon. Yeah, he's been, unfortunately in and out and, dealing with stuff and whatnot. So I'm happy to see whatever he's good to go, thumbs up on that. Thank you so much to Grapple Geekery for this super chat here. And yeah, he really did fly 15 feet in the air at one point. He gets some freaking height, man. Very, very impressive. But before we get into some of the stuff that happened in between the world title eliminators, I just want to get right into it. Rush Bandito for the AEW world title eliminator. This was the one that I kind of felt a little bit cheated here. I felt a little bit robbed. And maybe some of you are going to be like, oh God, Denise is just exaggerating. But God damn it, this is how I feel. Okay. I was really, really looking forward to this match. Okay. Really looking forward to it. And it was the thing that got me going for the whole week, you know, when I was like, oh, I got to work on Friday. But I get to watch Rush versus Bandito. It's going to be good. Oh, you know, maybe I should just do SmackDown. Nah, I got to watch Rampage too. Why? Oh, man, because they're doing Rush versus Bandito. So the whole week since I've known this match was going to happen, it's been in the back of my mind of, oh, yeah, Rush Bandito is going to happen tonight. Okay. I was disappointed in this match. I was disappointed, one, because, and I should have known. I should have known right when, I should have known, and I said this on Wednesday. I said this match should have been on Dynamite because this could have been a Dynamite, you know, freaking standout match, okay? And I should have known when it was placed on Rampage that it was not going to be maybe given the platform that I necessarily probably expected for this one. Then I should have known even more when this wasn't the main event. And I get it. People are going to be like, oh, Denise, it had to be the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Fine. Maybe you could have opened the show. Fine. You could have opened the show with Rush Bandito. I feel there were a bunch of signs telling me that this wasn't necessarily going to be the match that I had really hoped for. This was the match that I was most looking forward to in this tournament. And I just don't feel that they really gave them, how do I say this? It felt like just a match. Just a match. I don't feel like they had placed it on a spot on the show where it felt special. And then on top of that, we finally get this match, right? They start fighting on the outside. Cool. You know, Rush obviously being a heel and, you know, throwing Bandito on the barricade, chopping him, all of that. Cool. Gets the cord out, the green cord, he's choking him, and this all happens before the match even begins. Okay, fine, whatever. Maybe not the way that I wanted to start the match, but whatever, it's fine. It's the way that started. But then afterwards, match gets started, right? And we're seeing barely getting it started, and we go to commercial break. And not even a picture-in-picture, it's commercial break. And we come back to it. And at this point, we had already missed so much. By the time we got back, they were like, oh yeah, Bandito's got the upper hand now in this match because when we left, it was Rush. Oh, and here are a couple of highlights of the cool things Bandito did during the commercial break. And I'm like, I don't want to watch the highlights. I don't get a thrill from the highlights. I want to see it happening, unfolding. So I feel like so much of the good parts happened during the commercial break. So by the time we came back to this, I kind of felt like, okay, well, I already missed so much of this match. You know, the viewers missed so much of this match. Okay, now I gotta, you know, try to get into it from here. And there were some moments, obviously, once they started doing the suplexes on one another, the leg lariat from Rush to Bandito, the pile driver from Rush to Bandito, like all of those were great moments. So I'm thinking, okay, you know what, Denise, stop complaining. Everything's good. You're gonna get the match that you were hoping you got, right? But then we got a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and usually the mumbo jumbo doesn't bother me, okay? For the most part, I could get over it. You know, I know a lot of people hate interferences and they go off and this and that, but when it was a match I really wanted to see, they did me dirty, man. They did me dirty, and I don't care none of this protecting the no. So we had John Silver come out. Well, okay, first of all, rewind. Jose the assistant gets involved, and then that's when I knew this was going in a polar opposite direction. I thought, God damn it, they're really ruining the match I most wanted to see because they had Jose the assistant get involved, and he's trying to take off the mask off of Bandito. Rush is distracting the referee, and I'm like, all right, well, that's it. This is gonna be something else. So then finally, we get John Silver. He comes out, and I'm like, yep. I just kept throwing like my hat in the air. I don't even have a hat, but I was just like giving up every 10 seconds. So he comes out, he distracts Rush, and Bandito gets a roll up and wins the tournament. Wins the match in the tournament. And I'm like, really? That's the way You guys did me dirty with Roosh and Bandito during this. I missed most of the match because we were in commercial. Didn't get to see Bandito because we were in commercial. Then we come back and it's like, okay, this is where we're in the match. And then on top of that, we finally got some good moments that I was really digging. And then we get interferences, and then it leads to him getting a distraction win. He gets the roll up, gets the pin. Come on. What? What was that? This was the match I was most looking forward to. I was very depressed after this, and I even felt like such a loser because I had tweeted, I was like, Bandito versus Rouge, let's fucking go. I'm so excited. I'm ready. And then afterwards, I was just like, they did us dirty with Bruce and Bandito. Like, we could have gotten so much more out of this match. This should have been the opener or the main event, and they should have really let them go. Dude, Bandito just got here. This is only his second match in AEW, and his first official match since being signed with AEW. So yeah, I was disappointed, guys. So I'm sorry, but because this was the match that I really wanted to see, I just kind of felt like I got a little bit robbed, you know? I went on the first date, and damn, I didn't get to get that kiss at the end. I don't even know if I'm gonna get a call back. Grapple Geekery sends in a super chat saying ending it with the roll up was pretty weak. It was. It definitely was. Okay. That's how I felt about it. I felt robbed. I felt cheated. Thank you to Grapple Geekery for the super chat, though. Let's see what else we got here. Sam Fine says, silver lining, this is surely the first of many battles, so they're probably saving the good stuff. Look, I get what you mean by all this, but it's the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. Okay? None of this saving for this and that. Like, this is the tournament. Like, this was a tournament you're excited to see because of the matchups that you're going to be getting, right? Okay. So I want to see the good stuff now. Now, if I'm tuning in to Rampage, I want to see the good stuff now. None of this waiting, none of it. We got a super chat here from Uriel Landeras who says, the crowd definitely got into it. Seems like Bandito gets whatever crowd he's in. Lit production for the match could have been better, though. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. Like, even the stuff that they did get to show, when I started to get a little excited about it, it was good stuff, man. Like, that's why I was upset, because I feel like we could have just gotten so much more from this matchup in this tournament that is supposed to be a big deal, guys. It's a tournament with the person going on to, freaking get a title shot. Come on. So there you go. Thank you so much to Uriel Landeros for the super chat, by the way. Really appreciate it. Let's see what else we got here. Amir says, didn't bother me as much, but it's understandable. It depends, guys, because like I said, if this was the match that like you yourself or like the whole week you were thinking about, it's like, you know what I felt? You know, when you save your leftovers or you save a piece of food that you're like, when I get off of work, off of my 8-hour shift, I'm going to come home and I'm going to eat this. And you're thinking about it all day. And then you get home and your mom's like, oh yeah, I ate it. Oh, thanks, Mom. You ate the food that I've been thinking about all day. That's exactly what this felt like to me, okay? They ate my plate of Rush and Bandito. They just ate it all up. So there you go. That's how I personally felt about this. Melissa Cabello says Denise needs a hug. I really do, guys. I really do at this point. All right. So let's see what else we got here. Let's rewind a little bit because in between those tournament matches, I did get some other cool stuff here. We had Lee Moriarty cutting a promo, and during this, Hook just comes in and with Cheeto Puffs in his fingers, pretty much just like taunts him. So they pretty much tease something there with Lee and Cheeto Fingers, Hook. And I'm on a diet right now. I recently started this diet, so everything is looking absolutely delicious to me. Oh my God. While I was watching this, I was like, yes, take out the Cheeto. Take out the Cheeto out of the bag. Put it in your mouth. Yes. Damn, I'm so hungry. All right. House of Black. This is sad. Being on a diet sucks. But anyways, House of Black. This is pretty okay. I've been, so they've been showing these vignettes where it seems to be that Julia Hart is bringing them back to life or something. I don't even know. I mean, we're seeing these bodies and in body bags and all of this, right? We get another video this time, and the the verbiage over this is basically saying, I have shown too much of my human self, allowed it to wreak havoc inside of me constantly. The battle between mercy and agony. This is where it starts. This is where I will walk the earth, creating misery with every step. Kingdom of violence, kingdom of pain until the world is covered in ash. And so that's basically what the video said. And I think Julia Hart was like baptizing them. I don't know. It seems to me that she brought them back to life and they were in the water being shown like being dipped in water out of the ashes. And it seems like they were being reborn with Julia Hart bringing them back. So to me, I'm assuming they just got baptized. I don't know. Either way, I like this. I like this. I think. I think I understand it. I think they got baptized. This House of Black stuff is always very I feel like I understand it, and then it comes out with entirely different meaning. But that's what I'm taking from this. Either way, I love the production. Love it. And Julia Hart looks really cool when she's just there lifting up the flames and the fire and all of this. Good stuff. Sam Fines, thank you so much for the Cheeto funds. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. All righty. So, Nyla Rose versus Kayla Sparks. This was an open challenge for her quotations TBS championship, and this was really just comedy. It was just Nyla Rose pretending to be Jade Cargill. She does the pump kick, she does the jaded on Kayla Sparks. Very quick, she gets the win. I'm like speaking so fast I can't breathe. So Nyla Rose is basically just going out there and being her silly self. Perfectly fine. Cool. This was just a comedy bit. Really, that's what it was. So for those of you who don't know, Kayla Sparks is a really fun girl. I have an interview with her on my YouTube channel if you guys haven't checked it out. She's been doing stuff with WWE, with AEW for quite a bit now. She's been making appearances. She's been making herself known, making herself be seen. So kudos to Kayla Sparks on that. She's a very, very nice girl. She's like a very infectious personality. She's kind of like Willow. You know how Willow's just like very lovable? Kayla Sparks has that exact same thing where she's like always happy. She's doing this, and she's always really happy. That's Kayla Sparks for you. But this was just comedy to further this feud with Jade. Jade obviously came out at the end, and she does the pump kick on Nyla. And thank you so much to Grapple Greekery for sending in another super chat saying, Nyla's a national treasure. I busted out laughing when she hit the jaded. I did too. I liked when she actually did the back pose that Jade Cargill normally does when she turned around and she's like, yeah, posing like her. That was good. Last but not least, everybody, the main event, which was the AEW All Atlantic Championship, and this was Orange Cassidy versus Lee Johnson. Good moments during this. Orange Cassidy hitting the orange fly on the outside was pretty fun to see. He ends up hitting the beach break, getting the win on Lee, gets the win. Good for him, man. This was fine to me as well. I'm trying to feel how I felt about this. This match ended up working out perfectly fine, mainly just because, of course, it was the main event, so it got some nice little, shine to it and whatnot. But other than that, I was just not really like, I just really wasn't digging it as much. I like Orange Cassidy, but I just didn't really care for Orange Cassidy versus Lee Johnson. It was fine, though. I thought Lee Johnson got to show quite a little bit here and there. Like, it was pretty decent for an AEW Rampage main event, but I think at this point I was just so upset. I was so upset about the Rouge Bandito stuff that I was just kind of like hating life. I was just sitting there like moping around and, being a teenage. I was pretending to be like some sort of angry. I was looking like some sort of angry teenager. I don't know. Clearly not a teenager. Way past that demo. But regardless, it was fine. I was a little moody, not gonna lie. Alrighty, guys. That was AEW Rampage. That was WWE SmackDown for today. I will be back next week. As always, I will be here on Tuesday for NXT, Wednesday to chat AEW Dynamite, and then I won't be here on Friday, actually, everyone, because it is AEW Full Gear weekend. And on Friday, I'm going to be in Newark, wherever the hell Newark. Sorry, I always confuse Albany and Newark for some reason. I don't know why, but I will be in Newark for Full Gear. And so I won't be here on Friday, but I will be here Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I'm flying out Friday and getting to Newark on Friday. And I will be there for Full Gear. And I'm hoping that they're doing a media scrum. I don't even know if they're doing a media scrum. If they like last minute tell us we're not doing a media scrum, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll have to figure something out. But as of right now, I'm set to be at Full Gear. So we'll see what ends up happening. Just stay tuned. Stay locked and loaded here on F4W Online. And if you haven't already, please make sure to show some support, show some love. I do have a giveaway at the moment right now going on my Twitter. So if you haven't gone there, go to @_Denise Salcedo. Go there, guys. And enter the giveaway. Seriously, enter the giveaway. And you never know, you could be the chosen one to watch Full Gear for free. So there you go. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much, as always. And I will see you guys all next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.